Hi, welcome to Knit One
Part 2, episode 266.
I'm Sheila, also known as Sheila D37.
And I'm Wendy, also known as Penny Wenny, and I want to say thank you to everyone who wrote nice messages in our group.
We've gotten a lot.
It was wonderful.
Teary.
Yeah, it is sad. This is not a decision that we made lightly. I've honestly been thinking about it for months, wondering how we were going to work this out.
I think we first even brought it up in the summer, when I knew I was going to be taking the position even temporary.
Right, because our schedules, and then I was moving, and our schedules just got really crazy, and it was around that time that it just started to be difficult to get it done. And
my hours don't help.
No.
Because here it is, it's almost 5:30.
As much as we
night.
loved you good people in the internet, as much as we do, I would feel terrible making Sheila give up her time off. Do you know what I mean?
No,
with your family,
right?
And you know, it's
the same for me. Nobody wants to give up. You know, even you're home all day, but it's still you're busy, and nobody wants him's not home all day.
Right, I know, and
so
it cuts into our family time in the evenings.
It's asking him to.
Whereas when we started this, we both were home all day without our children, so we could do it whenever, and then it didn't interfere.
No,
and we were flexible. We could do it any day of the week.
Yeah,
we had a regular day, but if that didn't work out, we could do it the next day or the day before. It's just not like that anymore.
Unfortunately, not.
No.
So thank you very much for all those nice words. It's really nice of you guys.
Yes, it is. We've made some wonderful, wonderful friends through doing this, and that's the one thing. That's the one thing that I love the most about it is all the kind people that we've met. I mean, as an example, Lois, Knitting's My Bag, invited us to be in the Podcasters Challenge these many years ago.
I know.
And now we've become very close.
And who would have thought that?
I know. She lives in California.
Right, exactly. And even if she is on the East Coast, she's up in Maine. It's not like she's right next door. I mean, it is in comparison. But
my husband and I vacation at their house now every summer. I took my mom up there this last time to stay with her. And I went to her daughter's wedding, and that's just one of a bunch of examples of people that we've become close with through doing this.
Yeah. And the good thing is nowadays with social media, we're still going to be out there.
Oh, yeah.
And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, you'll all hear about Zachary and what's going on with him because, I still share my family and my kids on Instagram.
Yeah. And I am going to do a public blog. I'm not going to do my personal blog, but I am going to do a blog where I talk about what I'm knitting and stuff. It's just going to be when I feel like doing it. It's not going to be a video.
Right. There's no pressure to it.
There's no pressure to it. It's kind of like Instagram. In fact, I tried out a new platform for it on WordPress. I've never used WordPress before.
I've heard of it.
And I've put a couple of posts. It's private. It's not open yet because I want to figure out how everything works before I open it up. But I'm going to talk about, because I do a lot of stuff other than knitting. I do scrapbooking. I like baking. I do sewing, spinning. I do a lot. I like decorating, and I feel like on this blog, I can talk about whatever I want, not just... It's not, you know what I mean?
Yes.
I did a little bit of that on here, but I always was mindful of the fact that most of the people that watch this are knitters.
True.
But on my personal blog, I can talk about whatever I want. I can talk about a book that I read that I really like.
Well, that's it.
So it'll be
more an everything blog.
It'll be more like the ones I've been doing for my family.
Oh, good.
And I talk about my kids sometimes. So I will link that when it's ready to be
linked
live. But yeah. So for people who are interested in seeing what I'm doing, it'll be on there. And I'm on Ravelry. And we still have our group. People can still post in the group. We're not getting rid of the group. So we can still we'll post in the group, and you can post in the group, and it'll all be good. So for our shout-outs, we still have our 2 knit-alongs, the Blue Moon Fiber Arts and the sports-themed. Those are going until December 31st. So we will draw for those after the new year.
Yes.
We will not be recording after this until after the new year because Christmas is in 2 days.
And
the week
New
after
Year's
that is family. In between that, we're just doing family.
Also, what was I going to say?
I
We
don't
did
know.
not draw any other names at the moment for prizes. Just
We'll draw some more in January. Sheila forgot.
I forgot. I can't even claim that work was busy today because it wasn't, but I forgot.
And we have plenty of time to do that. It's not like we have to wrap this up.
Right. We don't have a set date yet.
Yeah. So, but we're going to continue to do that because we want to give back everything that we got to the people that supported us over the years. So that's it for our shout outs.
Yes. You're first.
On the dance card, I am working on my sweater. It's the Lillian Fay sweater, and this is one of the sleeves. It has a little lace and cable detail on the cuff. It's kind of pretty. Looks like it's hard to see because it's not blocked, but it's like 2 leaves. I have the body done. This is the body. The body has the leaves along the front, and then there will be ribbing on the other side of them so that they won't be, fluffy. And then I'm almost done with the sweater. To be honest.
Oh, all right. So you're on the second sleeve.
I'm on the second sleeve. This is the other sleeve with its yarn. I keep the yarn that goes to it in there. In case
all
I have
right.
to
Yeah,
make
that
adjustment.
makes sense. Yeah.
And as you can see, I only have to knit about an inch, and I'll be done. Well, maybe you can't see, as you may not be able to see. It's about this much difference. So like maybe 10 more rows, and then I'll be done.
Yay.
So that is the Lillian Fay pattern, and I think I can't remember. Well, I can tell you who it is by because I have it on my pattern thing right here. Did I put it on here? I may not have. Oh, no, I have to look on the actual pattern.
Oh, yeah, because
I only have the charts. It's by Ellen Mason, and I bought it from Ball and Skeins booth at Mass Sheep and Wool. 2008, 2009. It was a while ago. And I bought it as a paper pattern. So I only have a paper version, but I generated my own charts on my chart software and put them in a PDF format so that I didn't have to try to work on the chart because I'll just blow this up really big. I use this blue line. You can make it yellow or pink.
It's like a highlighter line.
It's like a highlighter, and I can move it around. It's like highlighter tape, and that's how I track my charts. So that's the first thing, is my Lillian Fay. And the yarn is Dream in Color Classy in the Flamingo Pie colorway, and that is Deep Stash. I want to say 2008 maybe. It's pretty old.
Wow.
I've been enjoying getting into my Deep Stash and making
It's kind of satisfying.
It
when
is.
you do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of into it. And then
Good.
this is Fox Paws. I didn't do anything since last week.
No.
But, whoops. Got away from me. It's getting there. It's pretty big.
It is pretty
It's
good.
like pretty big. And then for everyone who hasn't seen it, these are all the ends.
Excuse me.
But I have woven these ends in on both the beginning one and the end one. She teaches you how to do it. So all I have to do is trim them.
That's good.
So I don't have to weave this in. They're already pre-woven in.
Which is nice.
You can't, I thought it was going to make the edge kind of bulky, but you can't really notice.
No, not really.
So it's pretty cool. And this is out of 5 different colors of Sundari yarn, which I was like hoarding in my stash. And I just went through and I picked out 5 semi-solids, because I have a lot of multis too, and knit this from it. So I really feel like, I'm using that up now too. And I have some baby projects I got to knit coming up that I'm going to try to use this too, if I can. I don't know. It might not be the best thing for babies because it's 100%, but
Is it superwash or no?
No, it's 100% wool, not superwash.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Sundara was 100% wool.
Yeah, which is why I bought so much of it, because I love 100% wool, until I found out that making socks out of 100% wool is like what an idiot does.
Well,
because if you're me, you just wear right through them.
unless supply is different, because Blue Moon is...
Blue Moon Fiber Arts is a different animal.
Yeah, it is.
It's very tightly plied, so it does not wear like that. That is true.
No,
but
'cause I made
this sock yarn is not tightly plied,
No.
so it wears. I made a couple of really fancy pairs of socks out of 100% Dream Color and 100% Sundara, and I wore holes in them within a year.
Yeah.
And then this is still lingering on the needles. I literally just have to knit like half and not even like maybe 5 rows, and I can start the ribbing, but I haven't, because I've just been knitting on my sweater, because sweater knitting is more fun. And
well, it's worsted weight and goes quicker, and
yeah, it's because it's more fun, and also because I've been busy doing Christmas stuff, so that's cut into my crafting time.
how dare it?
But those socks I'm calling going up, and I will probably write that up. And since I'm going to have more free time after the new year, I'm going to write up I have some other patterns written up that I need to publish. So I will be doing that.
Good.
And I will let people know on social media or in our group about that. But that's all I have on the dance card.
Okay, I have 2 things on the dance card. I finally
Before you start, sorry.
No.
I'm using these
Oh, I've used those.
I love them.
They're nice.
They're these wood, what are they called? They're from
Chromas? No, not Chromas. They're from Knitter's Pride.
Knitter's Pride.
From Webs. It's the Dreams.
Dreams. And they're like
the interchangeable
colored
dreams.
wood
And
with
each
steel tip.
color is a different size.
Yes.
But it's wood. It's polished. But what's nice is it's got a steel tip.
Yeah, except this one, mine, the tip was flaked off and there was like a rough edge.
Yeah. Did you file it down?
I did. I filed it down. But I actually like these just as much as I like metal ones.
Yes.
And I never thought I would say that, but I thought I would mention it. They're very good.
They are. I've used it a couple of times myself.
And
They're
if
very
you
good.
use the cords that they actually came with, those are color-coded by size, so it's easy to find the cord that you want, but I'm using them with some Knit Picks cables, which work just as well.
What I think I like about these is the shortness of the needle.
They're very short. So, sorry, just thought I would mention
good.
that.
Gave me a minute to finish my row.
I like them a lot. I like how the needles are different colors, too. It's easier to figure out which ones are which.
It is, instead of pulling out your needle gauge.
Yeah, it is. So, sorry, just
that's
plug
okay.
in.
So I actually have worked on my sock that I've been knitting. I left it at work last weekend.
I like that color.
It's Garden Days. It's one of their
That's pretty.
club colors. Again, it looks so much nice. Not that Blue Moon doesn't look nice, but you can really see it in the heel of
That
the sock,
is where the
'cause
colors
it's-
look prettiest.
because it goes back and forth and not
Right.
around and around. And it almost looks like 2 different yarns when
it does.
you compare it.
Because the way that the blue and the green and the red part blends, it almost makes it look purple.
It does, but it is, yeah, it's the maroon and the green are like Christmas reds and greens.
But not when they're together, they look different.
Yeah. So this is my 11th skein of Blue Moon for the year. I don't see me reaching 12 considering we have a week left.
Yeah, probably.
I might do one of my heavyweights, which is.
But it's not your skein, right?
No, so I think in all, this is my, so 3. 3 of the skeins that I've knit have not been mine.
So 7, 8. Wait, have you done 11?
I've done 11.
So 8 skeins. That's really good.
I'm pretty sure. I got to double check because I know I have them all listed. I was OCD on that this year.
But that's really good. You have 8 skeins that you got done.
I did a good amount of.
That's really good.
I have enough, I think, Blue Moon socks for myself for at least 2 weeks straight. I have enough socks for almost 2 months without dipping into them again. I think it was only 2 pairs that I did 2 for Tara and then this one. So yeah, that's not bad. I think I had, 30 skeins when I started?
Maybe. So you
think so.
You made
So
a dent.
I put a dent, and it's going to continue. I don't think I knit shawls with them, no. I had intentions to do it, but it didn't work out that way. So I'm almost done with this. I turned the heel today. It's the modified rye. I did it over 10 stitches. It's a free pattern by Tin Can Knits. It's basically where you knit 1 row, purl 1 row. Her rye is the whole front of the sock. I've done this before. I like the 10 stitch.
10 stitches, I'm telling you, it's the magic formula.
Of course, it wouldn't be a podcast without a visit from my buddy.
And his butt. Oscar.
Although apparently butts are in. Have you seen some of the crocheted butts on Instagram lately?
Oh, no.
Crocheted cat butts, as a matter of fact. This is the first sock. 6-inch cuff, give or take.
So that's a PhD. I did in the PhD section.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Project half done. I love the colors. But I do really love how the heel comes out.
Yeah, that's pretty.
So that is one thing. And because I forgot this, I don't have a finished project to show you because I gave them away. But I finished my I'm talking early, but I finished my washcloths.
Oh, good.
But when I finished them, I was looking for something else to knit on. And my husband, I think I mentioned to you, I may not have, requested a knitted item.
Oh, wow.
So this is his last chance because I've done a few things for him. So I am doing what I would call a Glitten glove mitten, where you do one finger as a glove and then this is the mitten.
Right.
And I'm doing it out of Croy, Patton's Croy. He wants it tight fitting.
Are you following a pattern or are you just making it up?
It's a loose pattern. I'm following loosely Knotty by
Knotty?
Knotti.
Okay.
I think you did one.
I did.
I don't know who it's by.
But remember, that was the glove that made the fat, that one finger that was super fat. Remember when I did that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I got the stitches wrong. There was like the one big finger, they were all normal, and then one was super wide.
I'm only using it as a basis of how much to cast on for fingering.
Right.
And so I wanted to check with him. That's kind of tight. I didn't realize, but he says it was fine. So I did a long cuff because you want it under the sleeve. He wants this, so I'm going to separate, I think right about now. I'm going to separate for the finger and then this. And then he's like, do you have any leather to attach it? I'm like, don't even start, my friend.
Do you have some of that special stuff you can put in? So
the
you
glue?
so you can use your iPhone? You should put that on it. They have this like conductive
the conductive
thread that you can put on there. You should do that so that he can
He's not worth it that much.
No.
He wants it for the car to drive. I'm like, I can do fingerless mitts. The fingerless mitts that I finally finished,
Yeah.
the ones that up here, I can't tell you how much I wear them.
Oh yeah, I wear mine that you made.
I
me
love
all the
them.
time.
But so this is I have all my notes on my project page, so we'll see. Some of the Glittens that I've seen, they look kind of funky.
Yeah.
And it's not even so much the finger and the mitten portion of it, but the thumb is like sticking like that way. I don't know. Some of it's weird. But I have all the notes on my project page that I've done so far. And I want to say this is possibly Sandara yarn that I had left over that I used as scrap.
I think it is.
But so I'm making detailed notes, and as soon as I cast off that, I will cast on the next one because I do not want to make the mistake I made with Max's gloves.
Oh, yeah.
Where I waited too long and didn't have detailed notes on it.
Yeah. Good for you.
And made a mess of them. So that's all I have actively on the needles.
And I don't have any dates to write, so, and you already talked about what you finished.
Yeah. I think that's all
we'll
I
move
did.
on to future dates. What was I just thinking that I wanted to do? I really want to do this in the Inspira cowl. I don't have a picture of it.
INSP?
Pira. It's a 2-yarn cowl, and my friend Lois made one, and I borrowed it from her when I was up there this fall.
Oh, I think
it's really pretty, and I kind of want to make one. And I have some Noro. I know Noro is not the best thing next to your skin, but I have some like long gradient Noro in my stash, some from deep stash. And you can use worsted weight yarn, so I was thinking of using a solid color in that Noro to be that's it. It's really pretty.
Trying to find a good picture of it.
That really shows.
Oh, of course, it's my phone.
Oh yeah.
My
Maybe I better
iPad,
pull it up
too.
on mine.
I have my iPad this week, and we all know that my iPad and the computer don't go along well.
Yeah, let me see if I
Here
can
we go.
get it.
That's
Oh,
about
you got it.
kind of.
Let's see if I can.
There we go. That's not that bad. So it's a 2-color. It's kind of like a gradient with the solid, similar to the Spectra, but
Similar,
in
but
a different way.
I think
like-
there's a different.
There's a different technique, but in the
Right.
same way as this.
Yes.
This one's pretty.
Yeah, they
Would be
come
great
out
for Kawani.
really pretty and
Kawani.
county. Yeah.
County.
Remember we looked it up? It's county. Because we didn't know how to say it.
Wow, a lot of people have done that.
Yes, there we go.
Oh,
For some
gosh,
reason,
so much better.
This likes mine better.
Well, because mine's so old.
But yeah, I think this one is done with solid and a gradient, so I think that solid and a gradient will look good on mine.
I think it would too.
And I might spin for it, or I might use my Noro. It depends on what I feel like doing, because I do have a couple of gradient bats that I could spin up. So that's in my future dates. Inspire Cowl. How about you?
My future dates is everything and anything, but I do. I want to. So I want to get this sock and my husband's mitten gloves off, and then I want to cast on for the scrappy scarf.
Oh yeah, I like.
I want to do. I have wool eyes
Oh yeah.
colors that I want to use for that. So it's kind of early. I'm talking about yarn resolutions. I want to use all my scraps, and I've mentioned it before.
Oh yeah,
So I was going to do the barn raising quilt with my Blue Moon scraps. I want to do the scrappy scarf with my wool my scraps, and then all my other scraps from Knitting Goddess.
Yeah.
I want to do one of those cowls, where it's kind of like the duo cowl, where you knit in a circle and you just kind of keep knitting until you're pretty much done.
Right.
Just to use all scraps, and then kind of join like you did there and not worry about the ends, because it would be in the middle and you wouldn't have to worry about it.
You don't even have to do it. Yeah, you don't
and
have
it's
to cut.
mindless.
Yeah.
You know me and mindless.
Yeah, you like mindless.
I do like mindless. So, I mean, just kind of playing along with it. I do have to finish a pair of slippers that I've probably been on the needle since last winter.
I think so.
And I think I have to finish my Yowza.
Oh, yeah.
My Yowza weight. Well, it's not Yowza weight shawl, but
it's
the pattern. I'm just not using Yowza. So.
Baubles and Bling. I got nothing this week.
I got one thing.
Finally, the Christmas gift that I ordered for her in November
When did
came
it come?
yesterday morning.
Are you kidding me?
No! I ordered you something like 3 weeks later and it came before this.
That's
Ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah, I will not order from them
So
again.
Wendy seems to have a knack of knowing when I need it too. So this, if anyone isn't familiar with what this is, it's a lanyard.
Like a badge lanyard.
So I
holder.
would put my badge on this.
It's got like a snappy thing that you can put through the hole in your badge.
Yeah, and so this is for, I don't need this as much as I used to access certain things, but I still wear my badge here. And my other one had a clock or a watch on it. That broke. I changed the battery and it didn't seem to work. So I couldn't take the watch. I glued it on really good. So this works out perfect in it. I'm trying to get it. So if you can see it, it says, I like big veins and I cannot lie. Honestly, I do. Big veins are best.
Yep. It was phlebotomy themed, so I thought I would get it. And I chose the option to have the jewel on the snap in red,
That's what
like a
took the
drop of
longest.
blood. Probably that's why it took so long. That was custom.
That's funny.
And I don't want her to tell you where I got it because I don't want people to give that person business. But if you search on Etsy for phlebotomy items, there's a lot of stuff available now.
That's awesome.
And I thought that was kind of cute.
It is cute. I love it.
I like that song. I like big butts and I cannot lie.
I have to say that comes into my head at least once a week for some reason. When somebody sends big butt, it just happens to go in there.
So I ordered that first, and then it didn't come, and it didn't come.
Let's see.
Do not go in
Production time due to each item being handmade and the amount of orders I process each week is 10 business days plus 2 to 4 days for shipping. So that was 14 days. So it's still almost 2 weeks over.
Way over. Yeah, I ordered that in November. So it was not a positive experience, and I will be leaving a review saying,
Please do not leave our products in hot vehicles during the summer months as this can cause the adhesive to soften.
Don't leave it in hot.
It's always in my bag. Because my badge is my time card. That's how we punch in and out.
Yeah, when I worked in prison, I had one of those things for my keys so that I could hook my keys to my pants pocket or my skirt pocket, pull them out to unlock my door, and then it has like a thing, so they suck back into your pocket because we could never leave our keys unattended in prison because they don't want inmates to, find your keys and then do something bad. So
it makes sense. Yeah, I love it, and that will work. I'm unfortunately working a couple days at the hospital. That'll work out good.
Yeah, there you go.
But I also, when people say, "What's your name?" Bring it closer.
This is me.
Well, they have a hard time reading that small print.
Crushes and heartbreaks. Let's see. My crushes, it's almost Christmas. I am officially done with all of my Christmas baking. I finished the last 2 things that I had to do today, so that was good. All my presents are wrapped. I finished that yesterday. Everything that I need to buy, including the food for Christmas Day, is purchased. Cool. So from this afternoon onwards, I can just enjoy myself.
Completely.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I don't have to do anything. We're going out to dinner tonight, so we don't have to cook, and we're going out to dinner tomorrow night, so we don't have to cook.
Well, that's also a Christmas Eve tradition for you.
We go to a restaurant called Kowloon every Christmas. It's a Polynesian restaurant.
Chinese restaurant. American Chinese.
It's American Chinese, but it's also Polynesian because they have like the poo-poo platter and like the flaming volcano decorations and like the giant like tiki statues
and scorpion bowls. And...
Yeah, but we like it's cheesy, but we like the cheese, so we're going there.
Kim has a coworker that works there, like as part-time.
Yeah.
And every now and again, Cam brings home some food that they make basically just for the employees.
Right.
And it's really good.
Yeah, they do catering, and they make mini pot stickers. They are so good. We went to they have a comedy club upstairs, and we had a school fundraiser event where they catered at their upstairs comedy lounge or whatever, and the food was delicious. It was really good. They have good drinks there too, and I'm sad because this year I can't have my traditional Mai Tai because one of the things that they recommend with my surgery is that you don't drink alcohol, for a year after the surgery, and that if you do decide to drink alcohol after a year, you be very careful because it can affect you much more.
Oh, right.
Because of what's been done to your stomach, to the extent that there are people that have blacked out after one cocktail.
Really?
So they say to be really careful. I'm not a big drinker, but I do, the one time of year that I have a drink, I have a Mai Tai on Christmas Eve, and I have a glass of Prosecco or something like that on New Year's. It's only the 2 times that I drink. And then during the year, I might have a cocktail maybe 2 or 3 times in the year.
Right.
But I've decided that I don't want to find out if I'm going to black out. So I'm not going to do that. Anyway.
A wise choice there.
It's all crushes from here on out. I almost ran into my garage door again.
Did it stop again?
No, I accidentally pushed the down button. And now I'm like, that's probably why I hit it the last time. Maybe I accidentally pushed the down button again. I made it go up. I got in my car. I pushed the flap up because it was nighttime, and then I went boop, and I was about to back out, and then I was like, oh my god, I just touched it, and I looked out, and sure enough, it was coming down. So I waited for it to come down, I opened it again, and I thought, yeah, maybe it wasn't a malfunction, maybe it was me.
Maybe put it in a different spot?
I don't know. I just have to pay attention is what the
because you're not used to it.
No, because I never parked in our garage. It was too small for a modern car, my 1920s garage.
Did you even have an automatic car opener for that?
We did.
Oh, all right.
We did, but we never put a car in there because I think one time I put my Jetta in there and it barely fit in.
One of those where you had to squeeze out the door.
It was, I mean, you couldn't have had anything else in the garage and you could barely get out of the car. And so we were like, yeah, it's not worth trying to park a car in here.
No, because then you're scraping things.
My new garage was built in 1947, so it's tight, but you can get out of the car and there's actually like space and, you know, we have other things in the garage. Right. It works. So anyway, that's it for me for crushes and heartbreaks.
Crushes and heartbreaks. So I'm going to go with heartbreaks first because I still have wrapping to do. I am done with shopping, although I do need to get a couple of pictures to put in frames.
Yeah.
I have to do grocery shopping today.
Ooh, the grocery shopping.
I don't know. I'm hoping it's not going to be so bad. I have a full list, and I have the meals that we're doing. So we're going to my brother's tomorrow. I have a list for that, and then a list for our Christmas dinner and breakfast, because I think my dad is coming over for Christmas morning breakfast.
That's nice. We have a traditional breakfast. We do, too, and I bought the stuff for that at my shopping trip.
Yeah, so I had to get that, and then my husband wants drink stuff, too, so I'm like, oh, great. So, that would be a heartbreak, because that's also much fun, although I don't have much wrapping to do, because I did at least do a portion of it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I just, the problem I'm running into is, I don't know if you guys remember growing up, you always got boxes with whatever you purchased. They don't give out boxes anymore, and I refuse to buy any. And I'm coming to that point where the boxes that we do have are probably older than my boys, probably close to my age. Some of the older ones.
2 words to say to you. It is the magical 2 words that make my wrapping experience.
Bags.
Gift bags.
Yeah.
And I reuse them.
Oh, yeah.
I get those sticky tags, so I just stick a new tag over the old tag. I have some that I've been using since before the kids were born.
Well, we have some boxes that are older than Max.
We do too.
And last year, I think somebody brought it to my attention, Filene's box. When was the last time you saw a Filene's box?
Filene's doesn't even exist anymore.
So now my boys don't watch this, so they're getting jeans for Christmas and trying to put them in a box, finding the halves that match, that aren't too big. So,
gift bags.
Yeah.
And you know where I get my gift bags? Ocean State Job.
Oh, I was going to say the dollar store.
Either one.
Yeah. And then I have gift cards I got to try and find a fancy thing to do with. I knit them half, so I might shove those in there. But then that makes it like one less gift.
I would get small gift bags or an envelope and put it in the tree.
Well, it's not for my kids. It's for my nieces.
I would get small gift bags this big. That's what I do. They have like little mini.
That would mean I'd have to go to a different store. It's not going to happen. Figure something.
They might have them at the grocery. You should look.
They might, but if I already have to go to CVS, and I don't want to, but I have to do that.
Oh, they'll definitely have something for gift cards at CVS.
Yeah, that's true,
They'll have gift card holders there you can buy. They won't be that expensive.
Yeah, we'll see. Crush and heartbreak. Zachary had an appointment yesterday. I got to leave work early yesterday. It was kind of nice. Zachary had an appointment with his rheumatologist. It is a new rheumatologist to us because his old one left several months back. Followed her husband somewhere, which,
right.
That's understandable.
That's what happened to my oncologist and my cardiologist.
Yeah, it happens. This one seemed really nice. We had to get some blood work done, and I called Monday or Tuesday to see if she wanted to, and I'm glad I did, because they did need blood work, and I had them fax it to my location to see, because they're like, oh, we might not get the results by your appointment. I'm like, well, send it on over and let me see what it is. because I know what our lab does
Right.
and what might need to be sent over. So there was just one item that had a turnaround time of what they said 48 hours.
Yeah.
So I called. It's nice to know people. I called my chem guy and I said to him, this is what's going on. He goes, oh, if you get it done today, it will be done tonight because it's a reagent that once they open it, they have to use it by a certain time.
Yeah.
So they'll do it right off the bat just to use it up. And so it must mean that it had already been used for the day.
Right.
Like they had already opened it up for the day. So that made me feel good. And we did. We had his blood work done. The next morning, by the time I went into work, all of it was done.
Okay.
So I printed it off, made sure that it was faxed off so that she had the stuff. And she did. She said it was good. It worked out well. So he's been having some flare-ups in his left hand, some arthritis, some swelling, and some mild pain, 2 or 3, nothing serious. And she was concerned with it, so she talked with his liver docs, and they decided on a plan of naproxen, Aleve, low dosage, twice a day with food for 3 weeks. They're thinking it's a flare-up.
Yeah.
And if that works, then we're going to, deal with that. Otherwise, he hasn't had med changes in almost 4 years. And he's 13, so we can gather the growth differential in 4 years. They said if that's the case, they may just have to up his medication.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't had any changes in 4 years. And unfortunately, this isn't going to go away. It's not like, and I said that to my husband, I said, it's not like it's going to get cured.
Right.
So we had a nice appointment. We're going to see her, I think in 3 months. We got to do blood work in 10 to 7 days after we do this because they're concerned of his kidneys.
Yeah.
He's got to drink tons of fluid. And so I told him that. I told his school nurse. This is the school nurse that first met him in first grade. And he had a different one at the second elementary school. And when he went to middle school, she moved back to the middle school, which is nice. So, yeah, she knows him.
She knows.
So I let her know. And she said she would email the teachers to not give him a hard time about it. Which is good. Because you always get concerned about that. And he's not one to mosey on out for no reason. You know what I mean? It's not
it's just good that they know.
Right. That there's a reason for it, and it should only be temporary. So that was, I don't know if that was a crush and a heartbreak. I don't know what to call that. But hopefully it'll be resolved with this, because I'd hate to increase his meds.
Yeah, I don't like
Because it's kind of like it's nice to know that he might be weaning himself off, but it does kind of realize that, make you realize that that's not going away.
Yeah, it's a chronic disease.
Unfortunately, amongst many of his others, throw it on the list. Oh, sugar, I forgot to call the pediatrician. They called me to schedule up times for his shots, and I forgot to call them back.
Oh.
So, but that'll be there. It'll be there come Tuesday. Or maybe I'll try Monday, see if they're open. Who knows? I doubt it, but...
Yeah.
My dad is here.
That's good.
Yep, he arrived earlier this week. And we went out to dinner with him yesterday. We're going to see him tomorrow at my brother's. And like I said, he's coming over Sunday morning. My son turned 16 on Tuesday. We did steak and cake for him on Sunday because he was going to be busy on Tuesday. Plus, we're all busy on a work day.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's 16. And at some point, hopefully, we'll get him to his driver's permit.
Oh, that's crazy.
Just because they're open the same time I'm working. It's kind of hard. So I'm kind of hoping either my husband took a few days off that I don't know about, or maybe my dad might be able to take him.
That would be a good idea.
But I'll ask my dad. I got to get him to read the manual so that he passes, because you have to pay for that.
You do.
You do. So I think that's pretty much it. Same old, same old. Not much has happened. I like my job.
Yeah. I'm glad you like your job.
I'll say that every time. I like my job.
My parents are in town too, but I forgot to mention them, but that's a crush. And they're enjoying that we have more room for them this year, so that's good.
Nice.
Yeah, it is nice. We're not all right on top of each other. And bonus, we have room in our living room to put a little table up so we can do a puzzle, which we like to do on Halloween.
Jim was doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, we're enjoying that.
Good.
So we have a book review in Gossip and Innuendo. We were sent the book Double or Nothing to review.
Double or Nothing by
A guy.
Alistair Post Quinn.
Alistair Post Quinn. And I think there is a picture of him on this book somewhere.
Yeah, I was going to say I'll show it to you, but mine doesn't work anyway, so it doesn't work.
See, I think it's at the end. Isn't it at the end?
There's a couple of pictures of him out there.
There could be. Yes, this is him. Apparently he lives in the greater Boston area.
Oh, yes, that's right, because he's got a couple of knitting guilds.
Yeah, I think he has something to do with Common Cod Guild. So
created it, I think.
He started it, I think.
Yeah. But he tends to go, he's around the MIT area and some knitting shops there. I remember him saying it. So the projects are really, it goes from...
It's all double knitting. Let's start out by saying that. It's all double knitting.
And if you don't know what double knitting is, you're knitting with two yarns, two I don't want to say two patterns, but what it does...
It's reversible.
Yes. So basically you're knitting this and this at the same time, and it's reversible. It is a tube most of the time, right?
Yeah, I think it is. And you can do some... This is like not for the faint-hearted. Like, it starts out with some easier things, but they teach you intarsia,
double knitting intarsia, double knitting cables, double knitting
lace, stranded. Yeah.
So, I mean, you definitely need to know how to knit for this.
Yes, and there are a bunch of different patterns. I'm just going to show you a few of them. We both really like this one. It's called Abyssus.
Abyssus, I think is how it was pronounced. It's a cowl.
A cowl. Really, and if you can see it a little bit right here, but the other side of the cowl has the background is blue and the little liney things are red because it's the exact reverse of what... and here's a better example. This is called Hesperos. Hesperos, you can see better how it's reversible. And on one side, it's primarily white with the blue lines, and on the other side, it's blue with the white lines. So there's this one has a hex pattern.
I like that. That you can really see the mirror of the two colors.
Right. I really like where they've styled it so you can see both sides. Obviously, on a hat, modeling it, it's not going to really show you that the inside looks the same as the outside. But I guess, if you wanted to have two slightly different looking hats, you could do that. This one has double knit entrelac. Entrelac by itself is quite a different
task,
different technique.
It's where you cast off and bind off and cast on several different times. You're doing it in different directions.
Yes, and not only does this have entrelac and double knitting, but it's got color work too. So that's pretty technical. And then there's this hat pattern, which I actually think is really pretty.
That is pretty.
Double knitting.
Is that the cable?
I think that might be off the grid color work and traveling stitches. So that is the kind. Traveling stitches are a kind of cable where you're crossing stitches over. There's double knit mittens.
So going off, I mean, there's a lot of it. It goes from the simplest of double knitting, to the more extreme, as in entrelac and the cable.
This has 3 different colors that you're knitting with, so that's quite technical.
The one good thing is it's very picture orientated on the techniques that you use.
This one is double knit with intarsia,
which I don't even do regular knitting with, so never mind double knitting.
Let's see. This one's kind of pretty, this rustle of leaves, but this picture doesn't show you this particular picture. I'm going off of the table of contents pictures. You can't really see how it looks. But that one has double knitting and marled knitting. There is a tie. I'm not going to bother to show you. It just has traveling stitches. This one is cabled hat with I-cord cast on, and that is double knit. So you're doing double knitting and cabling. That sounds complicated.
So with the book, it talks about all certain techniques and has pictures in it. It talks about how keeping your edges clean on double knitting and shows you pictures of what it looks like when they're not clean and when they are clean.
And it shows you a couple of different ways to do it, which is really nice. This is double knitting with lace, which is crazy.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, that kind of seems...
And this is also double knitting with lace. And Sheila and I were saying it kind of like ruins the effect of the lace to have it doubled because you can really see it a little bit, but it kind of...
The whole idea to me with lace is you see it.
Right.
I mean,
I get through it.
Right.
It kind of makes it less see-through. But I guess if you wanted something to be lacy and warm, you get the texture of lace on it anyway. Yeah, we really did like the explanations.
Very, very detailed on the pictures and the
vocabulary.
Vocabulary and the techniques.
Techniques.
Very detailed, which is great, especially if you've never tried. I mean, I've always wanted to try double knitting. Yeah. And maybe not a big project like a cowl, I mean, but you can always do a swatch.
Yes. He also does bind-offs. There are special bind-offs that you can use for double knitting.
And special cast-ons, of course.
Special cast-ons. He does these little exercises where you can do a small swatch to learn the technique. So, you could work through the little swatches and do that just to learn the technique without having to take on a big project. And as the book goes on, it's more and more complex. And I think they're pretty upfront with you about what you need to know.
What I also liked is right on the front of the pattern, it tells you fingering weight or whatever, but on your skein of yarn, especially commercialized, it shows you that little skein of yarn with what number it is. Yeah.
So if you're not, real savvy about the names of the yarn, you can just go to your store and look for a yarn that has the same symbol.
Which is great.
Which is great because not everybody knows how that works. But it's got charted and written instructions, I believe.
And it goes a little bit into him and what he's done and how he got into designing.
He does have interspersed with the patterns some of his personal story. We found it a little bit egotistical.
I didn't know
kind of a little mansplaining, but it doesn't ruin the book.
No, not at all. It's a very nice book.
Definitely a very good book, but he's very proud of what he's done.
And he should be.
So
humble he is not.
No. So that was kind of a humorous thing about it. He's a little proud. But I think they show a lot of pictures of everything, but the big thing is I'm just going to show you some of the this is how close up the pictures are.
Yeah, they're really good detailed pictures.
Very good. And, we've mentioned in things that we've reviewed before that we don't like it when the photography isn't clear and you can't see how to do things and you can't see details on the patterns up close. This really doesn't have that issue. This has excellent photography and everything is explained very carefully.
And there was a little segment on how to fix your mistakes and what to look for.
Yeah.
It's really a very detailed, I wouldn't call it maybe beginners. I mean, it's definitely for the adventurous knitter, which I suppose double knitting would be anyways.
It would be anyway, yeah.
But it goes from a very basic double knitting to the extreme, if that's what you're interested in.
Yeah, and it's interspersed with, he calls it his craft story. It's interspersed with like a little biography that he's written. And even though we laugh about it a little bit, it does kind of personalize the book a bit. So that's nice.
There's a story behind it, not just patterns.
Right. And he kind of weaves that in. And I think all the little exercises, here's another little exercise you can do. Those are all really helpful for somebody who wants to learn the technique but maybe doesn't want to commit to a whole project. Right. Because I think, I'm always interested in other skills that I have never tried. I've never done double knitting. So this is definitely something that I would have fun playing around with sometime. And I like the fact that I don't have to commit myself to like a shawl or something, or even a whole hat. I can try it out on the swatch, and if it's something that I feel like I can do and enjoy, I would make a pattern. But if it's really complicated, I'll learn the technique. It'll be under my belt, but I don't have to like kill myself to do it. Yeah, Common Cod Fiber Guild. He was one of the founding members of it. And if you're from this area, you've probably heard of Common Cod. They have symposiums and stuff all the time. They've had Yarn Harlot.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. So that's a pretty big deal in the Boston area knitting. So it's a pretty interesting book. Yeah, I definitely would recommend this for adventurous knitters. I would not recommend this for somebody who is new to knitting, because this is taking some basic knitting skills and going way out of your comfort zone. I mean, if you're really one of those people who will try anything, then go for it. But this is definitely for somebody with advanced knitting skills. But it sure looks interesting. And I definitely think it's something that
I haven't done it, but it looks like it's similar to the sense of color work where you're using your yarn at the same time, but in the sense it's different with the traveling of the yarn, because the yarn is being worked no matter what. Right. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
This also, in the appendix, it has something on Japanese double knitting, filled double knitting, where you actually put stuffing inside the sections of double knitting.
Wow.
And twined double knitting that has a different look to it. It almost looks like that was stitched on the outside, but it was knit. And then massively, he calls it massively multicolored knitting, where you use a bunch of different colors. And he shows a chart.
Whoa.
And that's what the chart looks like. So those are some like extreme techniques. Pretty cool, right? Mm. Cast on with 4 colors. That's a lot. So it says, one of the reasons this swatch is so small, end management in this type of knitting is nearly impossible, and a braid with 5 or more strands is ridiculously hard to undo. Good luck. But he puts it in there so you could do it.
If you wanted to attempt it.
If you wanted to attempt it, you could do it. I am not going to attempt that. But anyway, this book is available through, I don't know if it's on Amazon. Let me look. It's published by
Falling Blocks Designs.
www.doubleknitting.com.
And double knitting is double-knitting.
Double-knitting, yes.
Sorry, just so that you look at the right thing.
And
which is out of Cambridge, Mass.
This is sad. One of the models was killed in a traffic accident.
Oh.
Yeah, that's very sad. But yes, definitely look into it. I will link where you can order this in the show notes. And we will do a contest in our group. Tell us which one of the patterns you would knit, and one person will win a copy of this PDF, and then you can try it. And if you do try it, tell us how it turns out.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, you got to show us that.
So, yeah, that definitely worth checking out if you're an adventurous knitter. Definitely. And if you live in the Boston area and you go to Common Cod Guild, you can meet this guy.
Yeah.
And tell him how you liked it, I guess. And then we drew a winner of the My Own Backyard pattern by Jennifer Lassonde, who's also known as Boston Jen. And it is number 21. She is Knit Fantasy. Her real name is Valerie, and she would knit the pattern with a purple gradient. And Valerie, I will let Jennifer know that you are the winner, and she will send you a free pattern.
Cool.
So we will draw the book review pattern in our next recording, which probably won't be until after January 2nd. So
right.
I don't know what day. So you'll have time to go in our group and do the book review contest there. And I think that's it.
I think that's it.
I hope everyone has a happy holiday.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah.
Happy Kwanzaa. Is Kwanzaa already passed?
No. Oh, Kwanzaa, I'm not sure, but
I don't know
Hanukkah
when that
starts tomorrow too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's late this year.
It is late this year. I want to say Kwanzaa actually is the 26th. They're all around the same time this year.
Whatever you celebrate, I hope you have a happy holiday. And even if you don't celebrate anything, I hope you have a good break around this time with your family. And great wishes for 2017.
And we'll see you.
Knit with Heart.
Bye.
Bye.